History is often written by those who refuse to accept the world as it is. In the late 17th century, Russia was a land frozen in time, isolated, deeply religious, and technologically centuries behind Europe. But in 1672, a man was born who would physically and politically reshape the map of the world. Standing at an imposing 6 feet 8 inches, Peter the Great was a literal giant. But his height wasn't his most intimidating feature. It was his relentless, almost manic energy. Today on Preyo Tidings, we explore the Tsar who traded his royal robes for a carpenter's axe and turned a landlocked kingdom into a global empire. Peter's journey began in Moscow, but his heart was in the German quarter, the neighborhood where foreign merchants lived. While previous Tsars stayed locked in the Kremlin, Peter was out learning how to build clocks, pull teeth, and most importantly, navigate ships. In 1697, he did something no Russian Tsar had ever done. He traveled to Western Europe. He didn't go as a king. He traveled under the name Peter Mikhailov. He worked as a common ship's carpenter in the Netherlands. He visited the Royal Mint in London and studied anatomy in Leiden. He was obsessed with how things worked. He realized that if Russia was to survive, it couldn't just pray. It had to build, calculate, and fight. When Peter returned, he didn't just bring back technology. He brought back a culture shock. He believed that to think like a modern power, Russians had to look like one. He famously began cutting off the long beards of his boyars, or nobles, by hand. If you wanted to keep your beard, you had to pay a beard tax and carry a bronze token as proof. But the reforms went deeper. He reorganized the entire government, created the first Russian navy from scratch, and introduced the Julian calendar. He moved the start of the new year from September to January. He was effectively deleting the old Russia and installing a new operating system. A navy is useless without an ocean. To get to the sea, Peter had to go through Sweden, the superpower of the North. This led to the Great Northern War, a conflict that lasted 21 years. Initially, Peter suffered a humiliating defeat at the Battle of Narva, but he didn't quit. He melted down church bells to make cannons and rebuilt his army using Western tactics. In 1709, at the Battle of Poltava, Peter finally crushed the Swedish king, Charles XII. This victory signaled a shift in the global balance of power. The Swedish Empire was fading, and the Russian Empire had arrived.
Onward, men, we ride as one. Your strength honors us all.
On the swampy, mosquito-infested lands he captured from Sweden, he began building his paradise, Saint Petersburg. It was built with forced labor, costing the lives of nearly 30,000 serfs. Yet it became the most beautiful city in the world, Russia's window to Europe. Greatness often comes with a dark price. Peter was a man of uncontrollable temper. He could be a loyal friend, but he was a terrifying enemy. His own son, Alexei, opposed his reforms and fled the country. Peter had him brought back, tried for treason, and tortured. Alexei died in prison. Peter chose his empire over his own blood, proving that his vision for Russia was more important than anything else. By 1725, Peter's health was failing. Legend says his death was caused by his own heroism. He reportedly saw a boat of soldiers capsizing in the freezing Gulf of Finland and dove into the waist-deep ice water to save them. He never recovered from the resulting fever and died on February 8, 1725. Peter the Great left behind a Russia that was 10 times stronger than the one he inherited. He changed the language, the clothes, the military, and the very soul of the nation. He was a tyrant, a genius, and a visionary. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Preyo Tidings. We bring you the stories that define our world. I'm your host, signing off. Until next time.